Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, nationally recognized retirement specialist and six-time author and fiduciary, Tony Walker.
Ever heard the old saying, careful where you hang your hat? Well, in this old tune sung by Judy Garland and also the late Ruby Hill, who had made it very popular. Gotta love that name, Ruby. Had an aunt named Ruby once. Anyway, the idea of where to hang your hat, in this case, home, had a lot of meaning back then. Careful where to hang your hat meant that, number one, you believed the place to hang your hat was the best decision for you. And second, the idea of where you hang your hat means that you were stuck with the decision and the consequences of where you decided to hang it. Yes, the idea of where to hang your hat has great consequences in the future, which is why today I'm going to share with you the reason you might want to hang your hat with Tony Walker Financial. Let me explain. Well, welcome folks to the Worry-Free Retirement, and yes, I am that little man in the sweater vest, retirement planning specialist and fiduciary Tony Walker, and today I'm going to share with you the best places to hang your hat in retirement. But before we do that, let us introduce two young lads that I hang my hat on each week to do this show every week. America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Orender, and Louisville, Kentucky's most laid-back graphics artist, Mr. Derek Hudson. So, what do three different hat-hanging experiences that led to trouble for others have to do with the constant mantra coming from the financial world telling savers where to hang their financial hats for retirement? Well, as we shall see today, there are many ideas in financial products where savers might hang their hats. But in the end, they may not be the best places to hang them. Whether it's telling savers to max out their 401k plans without telling them about the tax tumor that awaits them, or telling them to waste all their money buying term life insurance, knowing full well that most of these savers will never collect on the term life insurance. How about this one? Hanging their hat on the evils of annuities and then turning around and later on selling them after they figured out a way to get paid for them. And speaking of Wall Street figuring out how to sell annuities, how about the idea of them telling you how to beat inflation by, that's right, keeping your money in the stock market so that hopefully it'll grow to keep up with it? Which is fine maybe if you're 40 or 50 years of age, but not if you're retired and depending on that money for income. So how can a saver know for sure where to hang their hats when it comes to this thing called retirement? Well, stay tuned as we share with you the secret of knowing where to hang your hat and be worry-free in retirement. I'm Tony Walker. You're watching the Worry-Free Retirement. We'll be right back. As much as you may love golf, you surely wouldn't risk your life by playing in conditions like this. Well, neither should you be risking your 401k by investing it all in the stock market. If you're retired, retiring soon, or going through a corporate downsize, keep your ball in the fairway by moving over your 401k to Tony Walker Financial and learn how to safeguard your money today. To learn more about our process and getting started, just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Wondering how much money you'll need to retire? Probably a lot less than you think. I'm retirement specialist Tony Walker, and for the past 36 years, I've helped thousands of savers determine when to retire and how much money they'll need in retirement, and I can help you too. To meet in person at no cost or obligation, let me invite you to log on right now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or call the toll-free number on your screen. We look forward to talking with you soon. Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. We start off this segment talking about our social media campaign, which is being conducted by my favorite daughter, Lacey Juergens, with the assistance of our Louisville office manager, Gina Tutwiler. And we've got another promotion coming up, and I'm going to turn it over to Derek Hudson, who's in charge of coordinating those on the internet. Derek, take it away.
Yeah, folks, all you have to do is go onto Instagram and look us up at the Worry-Free Retirement, and there will be a post on there on how to enter.
Okay, thank you, Derek. All right, let's turn to our Tony in the Trenches. This is very good. Watch this carefully. Tony, I just turned 70 years of age and wanting to see if there's any way to reduce the taxes owed on my IRA and at the same time give some money of that tax-invested IRA to charity instead of the government. I'm approaching my RMD age. Remember, folks, the new RMD age is 73, but you'll see this, at 70 and a half, you can take advantage of what we're going to talk about. I'm approaching my RMD age and heard you talk about lowering taxes by making gifts to charity. Can you explain this, please? This comes from Phil out of Louisville. So, Phil, this is basically called a qualified charitable deduction, or QCD. Now, let me set the stage with Social Security, and this might make sense. Many of you out there are what we call standard deduction filers. You're not itemizing your tax-deductible gifts anymore. You're taking advantage of the standard deduction. Many of you are drawing Social Security, but you don't understand that Social Security has its own tax bracket. In fact, the more you make on Social Security, the more taxes that could be owed on it. Now, here's the problem when you run into RMD ages, as Phil's asking about. If you start taking money out, the government's going to force this money out of that tax-infested IRA. You have to count it as income. It goes into earnings, and whereby maybe you didn't pay any taxes on Social Security, or maybe you were taxed at 50% of the Social Security. That additional RMD could throw you in a higher Social Security tax bracket. But not so with the QCD. In fact, with the QCD, or qualified charitable deduction, that does not go on your tax return. You don't get to itemize it, which in most cases you don't need the itemization of it. And therefore, it does not possibly cause extra taxes on some of the money you're already taking. So here's what we're going to do. Let's go through a couple of examples of a QCD. We'll use Phil, and let's say Phil's annual RMD coming up is $15,000, okay? He's got an RMD. He has to take out the minimum distribution. The government's calculated for him. Incidentally, in our office, Leanne Tinsley and Timmy Reagan. I got to go get Juanita. Derek, I'll be right back. Timmy, thanks again for your help, man.
Is your name Timmy?
No, my name's not Timmy. I don't like being called Timmy. I've never been called Timmy.
By the way, they will calculate those RMDs for you. But let's say Phil wants to take out of his RMD $10,000 and designate it as a QCD that goes directly to charity. So that means that $10,000 of his normal $15,000 RMD does not have to be counted as income. Here's another example. Let's say he says, well, I don't even need the money. I'm just going to donate the entire RMD to charity. Again, it has to go directly to the charity. He can't take it out of pocket. We can help you do this, by the way. But the entire $15,000 is under the QCD, so again, he doesn't have to declare income. Here's another example. What if he makes $15,000 QCD, but he goes, hey, I can even do more than $15,000 a year, can I, to a QCD? Absolutely. But he takes an additional $5,000 over his $15,000 RMD. Is he able to do that? So the additional $5,000 above his RMD is considered a QCD. Now keep in mind, though, he can't apply that towards next year's RMD. But still, this is a wonderful way to figure out how to lower taxes, and in this case, assuming you already give money to charity, a wonderful way to help charity to boot. Okay, let's get back to our theme here on where are you going to hang your hat when it comes to a financial planning firm that specializes in retirement planning, and why it is so important to consider a local retirement planning firm to work with you, not just when you retire, but through retirement. I'm going to go over the main bullet points of Tony Walker Financial. First of all, we are a full-service firm. Retirement planning is all we do, and we handle all aspects of your retirement planning. Number two, you get to meet with the owner of the company. Now, I don't know where you can do this very frequently, but I've got nearly 40 years in this business. I am happy to meet with you at any time, and even after you become a client. If you ever need me for any reason, you just contact our offices and tell the staff you need to meet with Tony. In fact, yesterday in our Louisville office, As we record this show in June of 2023, I had about 15 appointments. 4 or 5 of those, if I remember, were just current clients who wanted to revisit things with me. Absolutely free and able to meet with the owner. Next, I like this one. We've got these salaried fiduciaries that are assigned to help all of our clients, not just a few clients, and they don't work on a commission basis. They're there to help implement the game plan, answer questions, and see you through this retirement thing in case I'm unavailable. Number 4, the service issues, we'll get to this in a minute, are answered by our firm. I mean, how many times have you called a 1-800 number at one of these big companies and you get through the 1-800-MIL and you can't even find anybody to help you, or you call back and the next person has a different response? That's not going to happen if you're working with Tony Walker Financial. We handle all the service issues. You call us and our staff. You don't have to call these 1-800 numbers. Our proprietary software, the WorryFree Retirement Game Plan, this is a game changer. We'd be happy to take you through the process. Again, no one has this software. I know this because I created it. What are we on here? Number 6 here, right? Number 6 is the tax department. We just mentioned Leanne Tinsley and TJ Reagan. They are there to assist you with tax planning. Now, again, we don't do tax preparation. That's for your tax preparer, but we do all the tax planning for you at no additional cost whatsoever. Number 7, the split IRA concept. Again, this takes the Charles Schwab platform, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, etc., at a low cost to you of 0.8%. We do it all at Tony Walker Financial, and then kind of molds that together with our expertise in annuities. This gives you maximum use and flexibility and control of your money. It's a wonderful thing, and we know how to implement this with our split IRA concept. And finally, again, we have some of the lowest fees in the industry. This 0.8% we charge to manage your money not only is about half the industry average, but again, all of the planning services, all of the access to our staff and salaried fiduciaries comes to you at no additional charge to you. So what are you waiting for? If you don't have a planning firm like this to hang your hat on, do this right now. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, click on that Let's Get Started button, or simply call the number on your screen. All right, when we come back, an interesting Tony in the trenches. With the popularity of annuities and so many people peddling annuities, what's the problem with these bonus annuities, and what can happen if you get stuck in the wrong annuity? I'm Tony Walker. I'll be right back. With the uncertainty of the stock market, our nation's debt spiraling out of control, and inflation running rampant, now may be the best time to consider moving your 401k to safer territory. My name is Tony Walker, and for over 38 years I've made it my life's mission to help savers worry less about money, and I want to help you too. To speak with me at no cost or obligation, why don't you log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or simply call the toll-free number on your screen.
Hi, my name is Shannon, and I'm in charge of setting up all of Tony's appointments with clients and prospective clients. One of the things we take great pride in is making sure that phone calls are returned promptly and that the needs of our clients are met right away. When you call Tony Walker Financial, you'll always get a live agent, and in most cases, your questions can be answered by one of our trained retirement planning specialists immediately.
Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a pension buyout? Has the company you work for moved, been acquired, or closed its doors forever? And finally, do you have a 401k with a previous employer you'd like to move to safer territory? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k or lump sum pension to Tony Walker Financial. Let's meet in person to discuss your retirement options. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your free, no obligation appointment. Let us help you today. Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. One of the things you can hang your hat on at Tony Walker Financial is our download section at our website at Tony Walker Financial. Now, how do you get to all these educational materials and forms that we have in our download section? Well, first of all, you're going to click up in the top right corner and you're going to see where we have the download section. Click there. You're going to fill out your information. Click the Download Now button. And that's going to take you to all of the different documents we have. There is a ton of forms in here. Conversation starters, our Form ADV Part 2s, all the booklets, everything you want is free in this download section. In fact, one of the things that's kind of interesting, people come to me all the time, they go, Tony, I've been kind of interviewing financial advisors. I don't know what to ask them. We've got something called the Financial Advisor Questionnaire. Just, Derek, if you would click on that. Here's an example right there. Don't know what to ask a financial advisor? Download this form so it can help you understand what to ask the advisor and what you should be looking for in a retirement planning specialist. Again, all of our downloads are available at TonyWalkerFinancial.com. All right, let's get to our next TNT. This is a good one. Tony, I'm about to retire and need to roll over my 401k somewhere. I was recently pitched an annuity by a young lady who does my taxes. As busy as she is doing the taxes, I wondered how she knew much about annuities, yet when she showed me an annuity that paid a 15% bonus, Becky from Glasgow says, I was sold. Is there any reason I shouldn't purchase this annuity? Well, as my late great father used to say, before buying something that sounds too good to be true, just slow down. You see, Becky, with any annuity that pays an upfront bonus, here's what you must understand about that bonus. First of all bonuses, and we sell a lot of annuities with bonuses, but they do come with a catch. There really is no such thing as a free lunch. Number two, when you get a bonus, make sure that you confirm the surrender charges if you were to get out early of that contract. You see, many times bonuses add to the length of the surrender charge and how much the surrender charge can be, so you need to understand that. Next, when does the bonus vest? What I mean by that is there's some bonuses that, let's say you get out of the contract in the first 8 or 9 years, they take the entire bonus away, meaning you don't get any of the bonus. So you have to ask, when does the bonus vest, okay? And then I think we've got one more here. In this example, will the tax preparer actually service the annuity? Now, this is a huge issue. Now, I can't speak for everyone, but if that person selling that annuity does not have a way to service those annuities through retirement, you're going to have a problem. In fact, to help us understand the many service issues that come up with annuities, we're going to go to our own Mandy Houchins at Bowling Green, Kentucky, who's in charge of our service department, and see what she has to say. So Mandy, tell us some of the concerns we have when people rush out and buy annuities from folks that we are concerned may not provide the services they need.
Well, one of the main things that we see, Tony, especially since the pandemic, is that a lot of the insurance companies just maybe aren't staffed as well as they once were. We experience long hold times when calling for service issues. And honestly, just if the person calling doesn't know what they're asking for, you may not always get the correct information. So you have to be pretty well experienced in knowing what to ask.
So let's say somebody runs out and buys an annuity from annuity peddlers that don't provide any service. What are the types of things someone might need to know or change on an existing annuity after they purchase it as they move through retirement?
Sure, many things come up. I mean, people may move, they need address changes, beneficiary changes. They need to know how to access money within their annuity if they want to take a penalty-free withdrawal, or if their annuity has an income rider or mailbox money, we need to know how to, they need to know how to start that when they're ready to start receiving those payments. And then, of course, even, death claims, that happens. We service those death claims from beginning to end. So there's a lot of things that clients will need service help with that they may not realize when first purchasing an annuity.
Well, Mandy, of all the thousands of annuities we service at Tony Walker Financial, I sure appreciate you and your team in the service department taking care of everyone.
Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome. And then our final matter here is there a written game plan for this annuity? More than likely, there's not, and that's a real problem. So as we walk over to the whiteboard here, just a couple of minutes remaining, one of the things we've developed over the years is something we call the split IRA concept. Now, many folks, many of our friendly competitors, even large financial institutions are starting to emulate what we've been doing for years. The problem is, if you don't have a written game plan, you could purchase these products, you could do what we're suggesting our clients do, but you're right back to the same problem. Who's going to service what they sell, and how are you going to monitor the progress without a written game plan and a process in place? So what happens is, let's say you have a 401k plan, okay? We split that out. CS is Charles Schwab, and then through the insurance companies, we might buy one annuity or sometimes multiple annuities. And depending on the circumstances, these could be different types of annuities, terms, bonuses, income riders. That's where our expertise comes in. But with the split IRA concept, you get three things. You get use of your money, flexibility of your money, and control of your money. You see, folks, if you take that 401k plan and in Becky's case, just dump the whole thing, let's say in a long-term bonus annuity, in most cases, you take away the use of the money, the flexibility of the money, and what's going to happen is you're going to feel like you're now out of control with a product that you're stuck in. So what the split IRA does, and with our staff helping along the way with this game plan, we're constantly monitoring these buckets to make sure we have money out there that's accessible, while at the same time making sure we provide that beloved
mailbox money
so that you don't run out of money. So folks, if you're sitting there saying, Tony, I really don't have a game plan, I don't have an advisor I can trust, yeah, I'm getting ready to possibly throw money into something that's not even going to be serviced through retirement, my question is, why would you take that risk? At least get a second opinion from a retirement planning firm that's local and's been doing this for years. That's right, Tony Walker Financial. So to set up a no-obligation phone call with me, we call this the 10-minute free fiduciary phone call. All you got to do is log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Or you can simply call the number on your screen, and if it warrants, we will be happy to meet with you in person at either our Bowling Green, Louisville, or Lexington, Kentucky offices. Okay, what does the Bible have to say about hanging our hats on the Word of God? Well, there's one attribute of God that nobody seems to be talking about anymore, and to me it's the most important attribute to help us from worrying about our future. Good stuff coming your way. Let me get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
Did you know that you can watch the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money anytime you want? The show's called The WorryFree Retirement. It's hosted by Tony Walker, and it's available on YouTube. All you got to do is go to youtube.com and right there in the search bar, type in Tony Walker Financial, and you'll see Tony's smiling face. Click on that and you're going to find all types of video content. Again, that's youtube.com, Tony Walker Financial.
Tired of the roller coaster ride of the stock market? Let Tony Walker show you how to smooth out the ride with your money. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started.
When it comes to where to hang your hat with your money and how to worry less about it, in my opinion, there is no better resource to hang your hat on than the Bible. In my walk, the Bible has taught me these three financial truths about life and money. First, in order to have money in the future to spend, you must put off spending it today and save it for the future. The second biblical place to hang your hat is the understanding that while the money we have in our possession is certainly in our control, it is God who grants us the ability to use and enjoy it. And finally, the third biblical view on where to hang your hat is one expressed in my latest book, Live Well, Die Broke, reminding savers everywhere that in the end, no matter how much money we might have, we really can't take this stuff with us. But this is just the view of a little man in a sweater vest. What about the view of the richest and wisest man who ever walked the face of the earth, King Solomon? What did he have to say about hanging our hat on this notion of stockpiling money for the future and the worries that come along with it? Well, basically, in Ecclesiastes 5:12, he tells us that working hard and earning money creates a lot less worry than trying to figure out what to do with all this money we've worked so hard to save. Sounds like the rich folks in Solomon's day could have used what we offer at Tony Walker Financial.
Sweep insurance!
Interesting that the world tries to convince us that the more we save, the happier we will be, when in the end, money doesn't make anyone more happy. It just creates more worry. As the late, great Charles Spurgeon once noted, those who have money worry with it, those who have none worry without it. Which does beg the question, How can we better learn to deal with money and all of the hooks being offered up by the world on where to invest it and at the same time not feel guilty about the money we've saved and how best to spend it? Well, surprisingly, the answer is not what most people would expect, nor in the modern day church wish to hear. It's disclosed to us in Ecclesiastes 5:7, where at the end of the verse it simply says this: "Therefore, fear God." You see, after amassing all this wealth and being preoccupied with all the things Solomon had done to create it, he reminds us that this God, the same God that created the heavens and the earth, will judge both the righteous and the wicked, and that every deed is under his watch. Which, assuming you have a fear of God, is good news when you think about it, because it reminds us that we are not to put our faith, hope, and trust in ourselves nor in our fellow man, but rather stay focused on the one who judges it all, and of course that's God. This reverent fear of God provides us the armor we need to hang our spiritual hat where it needs to be hung, and that is on the grace and mercy of the one who created us. So no matter what you own, what you possess, or what you do not possess, no matter what the stock market might do in the future, or whether now is the time to buy gold or sell it, consider the advice offered by Solomon. Be at peace with whatever God has blessed you with, and look to Him on how best to use and enjoy it. Live in reverent fear of Him and trust in His righteousness. And I assure you, the worries of this world will begin to fade away. And that is some good news you can hang your hat on. Amen? Well, speaking of fears, I've got a list of fears that I see savers struggling with all the time. The fear of running out of money. The fear of the next stock market crash. The fear of turning their money over to the next Bernie Madoff. And here's one, the fear of being taxed to death on that money you've put away in that 401k plan. Well, fear not, no more, because you do have options available to you. But the only way you're going to discover those options is by considering to hang your hat with Tony Walker Financial. To learn more about our firm and our worry-free retirement process, it's really easy to do, and best of all, there is no cost or obligation to learn more. We call this the free 10-minute fiduciary phone call, and here's how this works. All you got to do is log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, and once there, you click on that little Let's Get Started button, or if you want to arrange that free phone call, just click on the little red box. That information is confidentially sent to our offices, and we will arrange a phone call with myself or one of our highly trained salaried fiduciaries. And if it warrants, we will be happy to meet with you in person at either our Bowling Green, Louisville, or Lexington, Kentucky offices. So do it now. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or call the number on your screen. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's program, but you remember, between now and next week, if all else fails, you be worry-free. Make it a good one.